What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy, Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. So, we're still in free agency. Things are still happening. Slower now. Free agency is like an avalanche, and then a little bit of snow just kind of trickles in, right? We're in the snow phase, and the Dolphins are still picking up players. We picked up Ryan Stonehouse from Tennessee, who is a long legged punter, which sounds like a weird thing to say, but it makes sense. Basically, Ryan is a punter who kicks very far in his distance, which is kind of the way punters used to be. But nowadays, we've switched over to more of a hang time based approach, right? So instead of kicking 55 yards and then out kicking your coverage, kickers now are punt like 40 to 45 and just kick it really, really high. So you're forcing a fair catch. Ryan is not about that fair catch life. He routinely outkicks his coverage routinely, and it has led to Tennessee basically not wanting to bring him back. Now, there's still power in distance, right? So you can kick it deep and then kick it at an angles, or maybe you pin the kick the returner at a certain place, or you kick it out of bounds at an angle, which could also pin a defense. He has not been doing it up to now. Maybe we can work on that as a Dolphin, but this is I think a decent move. The Dolphins special teams last year, outside of Sanders, was not good. We were not good at kick return, kick coverage, field position. A lot of things went wrong. We were only good really at field goals last year. And 2 years ago, not even good at field goals. So I do believe this is a who you know situation. Our special teams coordinator is his former coach. That makes sense. And we probably need to upgrade the position. The one issue that may arise is that normally the punter is also the holder for kicks for field goals. And Bailey and Sanders have a thing. They like each other. They know, last year was a good year. I don't know what this means for Bailey in terms of like staying on the roster because if we cut him, we save money against the cap, and that's always a big deal. If we keep him, we keep Jason happy, and we probably keep our field goals going well. So I don't know exactly how this is going to work in the meantime. I think the plan right now is to go forward with both, but when you can save $2 million against the cap, when you're a team up against the cap, it's tempting. And I don't know how good Ryan is at holding kicks, and him and Jason definitely don't have any relationship. They don't know each other. So it could be a situation where you add a better punter, but then you make your field goal kicker worse. I don't like that trade off. I'm cool kicking 30 yards, 50 yards in the air, and then my field goal kicker making 90% of his kicks. Then possibly, we got the longest leg kicker in the league, but now your field goal kicker's on some 70% a year thing. Don't like that. We don't know what's going to happen with that yet. I think there's some grumblings, and we'll see how much power Jason has. I mean, we've invested in you as our kicker, so if he has any cachet, can he save the 2 million versus I want the player? I don't know how it's going to go. I'm a little nervous, but we'll see. So it's a free agent move, but nothing crazy, but something to look out for. There's still a lot of good players on free agency right now. Basically, people who are available or people who either there's not really a market for them or they want more than their market dictates, right? I mentioned Asante Samuel Jr. like a week ago. Another good corner is Rasul Douglas, who played for Buffalo, our nemesis. Hate Buffalo. And Rasul Douglas is probably like price wise out of our current range, right? Maybe we can do a couple of contract restructures, get the money together, maybe do a 1 or 2 year deal. That's a possibility. I like Rasul Douglas a lot as a defensive back. I don't like any Buffalo Bill player like as a Buffalo Bill, but I like the idea of pulling from Buffalo, adding to our team, and the idea that he's played against Josh Allen most of his career, right? And maybe there's little things you pick up in practice that our DBs apparently don't ever do because we don't beat Josh Allen. Very frustrating. I like the idea of crippling your nemesis and also making your team stronger. Now, he's going to cost some money. That's the number one issue. Can we find the money to give to him? And if we give him the money, that basically wipes out budget for Calais, for Agba, for anyone else that we maybe want to resign or any other free agents. So you have to weigh the cost of is having him on the team more important than signing 2 or 3 more people. That's kind of where we are right now. I don't know. I think the idea for me is if you think Miami can win next year, if that's what Chris Greer is thinking, that's what McDaniel's thinking, cool. That means we need the best possible team on the field next year. And if a team doesn't win, there'll probably be some blowing up of stuff. We have a lot of 1 year deals anyway. So it feels like it's an all in kind of situation right now. That's what it feels like. You don't sign 1 year contracts outside of the fact that they're not on the books long term, right? So if you think next year we can go for it, then let's go for it with the DB. Let's say, hey, Rasul, we'll give you 1 year, like 15 million. 1 year, 15 million. If you ball out, you get an extension. Now, part of the issue is that Derek Stingley got an extension today, which is annoying, and J.C. Horn got an extension last week, which is also annoying. So now the DB market is all in flux. We're all cool in that early low 20s. All of a sudden, everyone's jumping up in money. So I think this throws the Rasul market a little bit off. Like maybe he would have been cool with a 1 year, 11 to $13 million deal, and now he's thinking, oh, I might be able to get a 16, $17 million deal. Which any more millions is bad for us. Any more millions, a couple 100,000 might be bad. He's like, we got 12 million for you. I need 12.2. 0.2? At 200K is hard. Like any extra money is not good for us right now, right? So I think the Stingley contract only makes things more complicated, and I would not be shocked if Pastor Tang gets another boost to his contract soon too, which is just chaos. So this is wishful on my part because I think he's a good player. I think I like experienced corners more than young corners, unless you get someone who comes in day one and it's just like Sauce Gardner-esque, where he comes in and just day one he's one of the best. Most corners take a couple of years, but I don't know if we can afford them. It would be nice. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see. And finally, we're back with more updated mock drafts, and basically all the writers and like analysts and people who come together, every now and again they kind of cobble together their results to kind of figure out where are we feeling on certain teams, right? So recently, as of today, the Dolphins have shifted again. Where was Shamar Stewart before? Shifted back to the offensive line. Basically, the idea being the offensive line is still the weakest point, although they mentioned cornerback being our second weakest point. Didn't mention safety, so Malachi, I don't know what's going on there. But I mentioned Will Johnson at corner, which would be fantastic. But if we go offensive line to Kelvin Banks, I think will be the best pick for us. Another SEC player, because you guys know how I feel about that. But more than that, his tape is good. His combine performance, not good. He didn't run as fast. He didn't look as nimble or as fleet of foot. Some of that is testing stuff, right? I think we see the combine and we just like, this is the end all be all. Forgetting the fact that people actually play football. We have actual film against actual opponents. We can just review your film. We can look at it. Were you good on tape or were you not good on tape? It's not that complicated, right? Oh, did you run your, 40-yard split the way I wanted you to? Probably not, but it's fine. The beauty of Kelvin Banks is that he plays tackle primarily, but he's willing to play guard as well. And he has versatility at both. He has all the size, he has all the athleticism, he has all that. This is what I want in my ideal world, okay? If Teron Armstead does in fact retire, which it seems like it's where we're going, you basically have Kelvin and Patrick Paul both vying to be a tackle for our team, right? Patrick Paul has already been on the team for a year. He's got a little bit more NFL body. He's like, hey, I want the job. Totally cool. Second round pick, we get it. If Kelvin Banks is our first round pick, though, it's a tough conversation because he could be like, hey, I'm a second round pick, second year. He's a first round pick. And he might be a more natural talent than you are. So this is what I want. I want those two to compete to see who is a tackle. Again, assuming Teron doesn't come back. Teron comes back, y'all got to fight for guard. But if Teron's out and we have an open guard spot, I want these two to fight and compete for the job. I'm never a fan of just anointing someone with a job, right? Kelvin's, if he's a top 15 pick, he should assume he's going to start. But if he gets beat out in camp, you got to beat out in camp. You're on the field, we can see you, right? You got to earn that spot. I want to see both of them want to play tackle. One, tackles make more money. Two, glaring position. Three, that's both of their natural positions. Plenty of reasons to want to play tackle. Self-explanatory. I want to see them both compete. I like fighting for positions almost as much as 1 year contracts because they both bring out the best in you. If you know if I slip up, this guy's got my job, you're going to bring your best. When you go in there and think I'm a first round pick, I got it, I don't think we get the best out of you. So I want us, if we go this route and get Kelvin, I want to have both of them competing. I don't want any starter named until like a week before the season. Because if Patrick thinks he's that dude, go prove it. Kelvin, you that man's, go get it. And whoever doesn't win the job, you compete for the guard position. That's what I want. That way, you have two motivated guys going at it. And I guess your consolation prize is you playing the position you kind of didn't want to play, but you could play. And now, even throughout the year, let's say Patrick wins left tackle, we put Kelvin at guard. And then during the year, Pat messing up, missing tackles, bad in his stance. Hey, guess what we're doing? Flip it. You go over there and do his job. And if you start doing his job better, guess what is your job now? Pat, you inside. I don't want to be inside. Should have did your job better. You over here now. And you under contract. I like the idea of competition on the line. I like guys that are versatile enough to actually move around. I think it's a strong position for the team to be in. And if at some point, let's say Pat wins the job and Kelvin's at guard, if at some point Austin Jackson needs to leave or we trade him, or Patrick in a couple years when his deal is up is out, we could just slide him right over. We could just slide him right to his natural position. Hey, you've been playing guard for a couple years? Good soldier. We appreciate your time. Guess what you get for your reward? You guessed it. Go play tackle. Just like you want to do anyway. So the versatility to do both, I think, is great. I love versatile players. I love competition. I think it makes a lot of sense for the team. We'll see if we go this way because it's still very early. It's not early. It's like a month until draft. But this is where we are as of today. I think it makes sense. I would like this pick if it happens. I thought Shamar was kind of a reach that early in the draft, especially when we don't really need that position as much. So we'll see what happens. But as always, guys, we appreciate your time. Thank you for coming here for Dolphins Daily. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.